everyone, I'm Jay and this is the Camden Stitch. Hi, thank you for joining me today. I've got quite a bit to chat to you about today. I thought we'd do a bit of a chatty vlog, and then what I've done is I've filmed a second video afterwards, which is a fabric haul video. So I shall link that up there or up there for you to watch straight after if you want. Or if you're not interested in fabric hauls, you don't have to watch it, but if you're not interested in fabric hauls, what are you doing here? Anyway, today I want to chat to you a little bit about what I've been making this week. I've also just come back from a little jaunt out with a few sewing friends up to Walthamstow, and I want to chat to you a bit about the sewing community and my experiences in the sewing community, and there's something else I want to chat to you about, but I can't remember what that is. Ooh, exciting times! I've reached 1,000 subscribers. That is such a massive, massive milestone for me, and I'm so grateful to you all, so thank you so very much. I keep on forgetting to say this, but my favouriteest bit about vlogging is chatting to you in the comments, and loads of you chat with me and I really, really appreciate it. And sometimes we chat about what you're making and then I can never see what you're making because there isn't any way of posting photographs in the comments. So what I wanted to say is, if you are on Instagram, will you leave your Instagram handle below and I will follow you? I may already follow you, in which case just tell me who you are, just so I can put two and two together, because today I went out with a very nice lady called Laura and she's been commenting and I've been chatting to her on Instagram and I didn't realise it was the same person. Hello Laura! 1,000 subscribers, it's a massive deal. I'm so excited about it, and what it means is that I get this thing called the community tab, which is just a feature that YouTube offers. Itchy nose, sorry. And it allows me to chat to you, so it allows me to say, oh folks, I've just filmed a vlog about this, it will be out so and so, or it lets me put a poll in and so you can say vote for different things that you might want on the vlog. It's a great way for me to communicate with you in between vlogs. So that's my first very exciting thing. Really, really happy about that, and yay! And, oh my god, if reaching 1,000 subscribers wasn't exciting enough, I actually got recognised today on Walthamstow High Street. How exciting. A lady walked past, and as she walked past I really admired the beautiful blue floral dress that she was wearing, and I don't know about you, but since I learnt to sew, I beadily eye everybody's dress with like, oh, that's nice, wonder what pattern that is, oh, wonder if I could make that. And I saw this dress and it was lovely. Anyway, the lady walked past and then I felt a little tap on the shoulder and she just stopped me and she said, oh hello, just to tell you I love your vlogs. And anyway, we had a lovely chat. She's called Jackie and she was with her friend Denise. So I just wanted to say hello, Jackie and Denise. You absolutely made my day, and my housemate Ian thinks it's hilarious that I got recognised and that he's now living with a famous YouTuber. I want to tell you what I'm wearing. It is a new look pattern and I think it is 6373, but I shall pop it here. I made it last summer. It is one of my favouriteest ever patterns. It's a massive workhorse of a pattern. I'll post some full-length shots of this jumpsuit so you can see it's actually a faux jumpsuit. It was supposed to be a jumpsuit, but it came out terribly long in the body and crotch, and so what I did was I chopped the bodice and the trousers apart. I hiked the trousers up, made a paper bag waist out of them with elastic, and there's actually a blog. It was before I started vlogging, and there's a blog which tells you about my experience making this. If you want to find my blog, I will link it in the description box below. But anyway, this that's what I'm wearing. So my sewing week has been quite productive. I actually made a lovely jumpsuit that I've not taken any photographs of yet. It is the most 80s thing I have ever made, but it is the comfiest, coolest, just lovely bundle of joy. I made it from a Prima pattern that I got in a charity shop, and I shall tease you actually by saying I shall wear it and post stills of it in my fabric haul video, so you'll have to watch that. to see it. So the other thing that I've been making this week is a couple of messes. Do you remember I said last week when I was feeling down, I didn't really feel like sewing and I just decided to do a lot of cutting, and I've had this pattern in my stash. Excuse me, Betsy wants to go out. She sits there and like taps at the door like a little human. Anyway, I decided to cut out this pattern and I've had it in my stash for not very long. It's one of the most recent Mccalls releases and I was very excited about it. I really liked the design of it. I know it's another wrap dress and I've been a little bit critical of wrap dresses, but because it was just like a cami top, I thought I like the strappy effect of it, and I really liked the racer back. And I'd got two viscoses in my stash, this particular pink one and this yellow one that I'll show you on the film. So I cut them out in a size medium thinking, you know, better to be larger, I can always take it in, etc, etc. Anyway, it was a really bad idea. The whole enterprise was misguided and really it's one of those things that you think, I should know better by this point. When I don't make toiles, I know that I am chancing my arm, and I really should have known better. So I'd got them all cut out last week, and this week I decided to make them up. So I sewed up the top and the back, and they're both fully lined. So I stitched them both up, got both bodices all sorted. I thought to myself, brilliant, I am steaming away here. All I've got to do is stitch the skirts, easy peasy, just a simple long maxi skirt, and I've made two dresses, really happy, etc. I tried them on and, well, I'll let my footage speak for itself. Hello everyone, I am just going to tell you about a bit of a sewing fail that I've had. You know, I said I felt a bit down last week and I did lots and lots of cutting out. I just basically got a bee in my bonnet. I was like, I'm going to cut out 4 versions of this dress that I've never made before. What an idiot. I cut out 2 versions of this skinny strap wrap top and 2 versions of the vesty type top. Sewed them up over the last couple of days, and I've only sewed up the bodices for the wrap top so far. They are way too big. I'll show you on my yellow version in a moment because I've actually taken that one in, but I've taken 8 centimetres out of the bodice. But it's all been a complete faff, and it's all really my fault because I decided that I would French seam this. I've never French seamed before, but I thought, I want a nice finish on the inside, this is the right type of fabric, I will French seam it. French seamed both bodices, this one and the yellow one, and then realised it's lined. I was like, doesn't matter, I've never French seamed before, this is a nice bit of practice for me, so I will French seam the lining as well, and then when you turn it in, you know, on the inside all the seams will be tucked away, no problem. Nice little bit of therapeutic sewing. All going all right. Look, I mean, look how terrible this is looking already, just wearing it for 2 minutes. And part of this is pinned to me. I mean, I'm going to have a nip slip any moment. Tried on my yellow bodice last night, which doesn't have this flounce. This flounce is from a different pattern that you might recognise because Juliet made it in the Sewing Bee last year. And I thought that I would alter the pattern piece to add it to this bodice. This bodice, as you can see, it's got a nice racer back, which I think is just quite a nice little cute detail. It makes it look a little bit more sporty, and I was like, I like my back showing, I don't know why. So this one, I took all day yesterday putting this flounce on. It was a nightmare. I gave away my previous set of rolled hem feet when I sold my Janome, so I thought it wasn't going to be a problem because I've got a rolled hem foot with my Dukey, but it's actually a 6mm rolled hem foot, and when I tried to do a rolled hem on this thin viscose, it was actually it was way too big, so the little scroll that takes the fabric round was way too big and it wasn't scrolling it properly. I'll just do that once more, shall I? So I thought, right, no problem, I'm going to do this today. I will persevere. And I will learn how to use the rolled hem function on my overlocker. So I did, and that is the result. It's fairly crap, as you can see. There's little bits of the viscose that are fraying out of it. I thought it won't be too noticeable when I put it on. I'd got dreams of this, because they're maxi dresses, I got dreams of this lovely peach floral maxi dress floating around, floaty viscose, blah, 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 blah. Anyway, I've cut a size that's way too big for me. I did check the ease charts, followed my own advice. This dress is described as fitted, which means there should be up to 3 inches of ease. Or is it 3 to 4 inches of ease? It might be 3 to 4 inches of ease. I chopped out 4.5 inches of ease from my yellow version, and I'll try that on in a minute so you can see what it's like after I've chopped the ease out. This one you can't see as much how big it is. If I go like this and the lovely lining pulls out, despite me having understitched it, you can see that that is just poking right down my dress, and the bodice is actually coming out to there. So there are a few issues. The issues are that it's too big. No problem, I can take that in, even though I probably should have, well, I definitely should have tried it on earlier on in the fitting stage. I don't know what happened with me. I was obviously just having a, you know, I'm going to blame it on my medication, right? So I was having a tramadol moment. I can take that in, but these army things, I don't know how they're supposed to be. I follow, oh, bingo wing. When I put my hands to my side, they hang too low. Let's have a look at the side without all my taps. Right, they hang too low. I think they should be more like that. But if I make them any shorter, I am totally, my arms just won't move. And can you see how if I lift my arms properly, it just pulls the whole bodice away. I know I haven't got the whole dress finished yet or everything, but I just think this is a big, big fail and a no. It just looks a bit sloppy and crap, and I'm not quite sure what to do with this one. The yellow one I self-lined and I used every single bit of the fabric, so I have to adapt that. I can't change that. But this particular one, I have got enough left to recut the bodice in a basic cami style. I might be able to rescue the flounce and put like a frill. I can chop out some of that arm bit and just have it go around the side and just have a flounce frill cami top, because I've still got the skirt and it will still make the same type of its elasticated waist flowy maxi dress. And I just think that might be better, because I think that this just looks really crap here the way it's pulling. I mean, obviously I've got it pinned across the front in the wrap area. God knows what would happen. You know, we'd be into indecency territory. Anyway, I shall show you the yellow version now. This is the yellow one. I am not sure about this. I just don't like it. It just feels so kind of not indecent in a sort of prudish way, but I feel like I'm just falling out of it, and it's like I have pinned it so far up to try and make sure that I'm covered. I like the back. I'll go for the back. That's how much I took out of on each side. I mean, look how the front is pulling away. It looks, looking at this, it looks like the front's stretched out. I don't actually think the front has stretched out. I think it's gone like that because I sprayed spray starch on it when I was ironing it to try and help it to press under when I was ironing under the understitching. I'm hoping that that will come out when I wash it, but I am just wondering if I should just give up with this. I could buy another metre of this fabric for £4 and just make a cami top. I'm just really disappointed because I spent a long time yesterday, especially with the pink flouncy one, understitching and roll hemming and French seaming. So to have two come out a mess. The other two that I've cut out that are more vesty, not so much of a problem. I'll go back, I shall retrace the pattern in the size below, then I'll recut the pattern pieces, shaving some off. It won't be an exact science, but it'll do. And they are both jersey, so I think I'll have less fitting issues with them. And because they're just generally more, they're a more sort of covered style. But with this, I think it's a big old thumbs down from me. So I unpicked the pink one. The yellow one, I'm going to have to buy another metre of that fabric in order to make a top for the skirt, but I'm going to do that because otherwise it's a waste of money. I'll have to throw away the skirt that I've made. I can't really repurpose it into something else. So what I ended up doing was making the same top that I'm wearing, which is a tried and true camisole top. I unfortunately had to lose the racer back because although I think it's a really nice style, it is actually cut super low, and the front of this wouldn't have matched up to where the side of the back came. Maybe if I was going to do it again, maybe if I was going to make the Mccalls pattern again, I would cut the racer back style to come up a little bit higher. It just doesn't offer enough coverage really. It was just a bit of a regrettable experience. Anyway, I've got this dress now. It's very pretty, it's very floaty. I didn't have time to wear it today because it needs the hem taking up, but I've got what I wanted, which is a lovely viscose floaty dress to wear on summer's days. So that was my slight sewing cock up this week, but on the plus side, I've had a lovely day today. I have been out to meet some sewists who came from the south coast, so from the Portsmouth and Southampton area. I don't know where everybody's from. I'll just call it the south. It's an area of the country that I don't really know very well. But I met Gemma, who vlogs at Girl So Geeky, so check out her vlog if you haven't already. I met her in the Sewing Vloggers support group, and she was coming up to London to go to Walthamstow Market, and I think it was Specky Seamstress Laura who very kindly said, oh well, you know, if we're going to Walthamstow we should invite Jay. So they asked me along, and some other people came too, Meg who is Pigeon Wishes, and Claire who is Claire Sews on Instagram, and Harriet who is Sew Me Sunshine, and you might know some of these people, but that's going to bring me on to my next point anyway. We had a lovely day, and like I said, watch the fabric haul video to find out what I bought. But it was really nice to actually spend some time with some sewing people and hang out with them. We had a lovely lunch at a cafe on Walthamstow High Street, which allowed us to sort of chat and catch up a bit. There's been so many socials that I've only been able to go to for half an hour because I found them too hectic or not been able to make it to at all. So it's really lovely to actually meet some real people and build those important like interpersonal relationships. Online relationships are all well and good, but there's only so far that you can get with them because people online, unfortunately, it's more of a transient relationship, isn't it? And sometimes you need to step away from social media, but hopefully when you make friends that you've actually met in real life, it helps cement those friendships. So that brings me on to what I wanted to say, which might be a little bit controversial or difficult, but it's something that has been on my mind for quite a while. And I know it has been on the mind of a lot of people that I've spoken to, and it's about the sewing community. Now, we do have a thing in the sewing community about it's all lovely, everybody's so great, you know, the sewing community is wonderful, sewing people are the best people. And do you know, I just want to say actually sewing people are real people. Sewing people are just people. There are people in the sewing community that you won't get on with, and you know, that's okay. I had somebody be a bit critical to me on my Instagram this week, and I just said to her, just unfollow me, you know. Somebody said to me a while ago that Dita Von Teese has a saying which says you could be an absolute peach, but not everybody likes peaches. And that is true, and you can't be all things to all people. So the sewing community is a wonderful place, but when I first started sewing and joined the Instagram, I'd got an Instagram account that I'd never really used, and all the bloggers that I was reading were saying, follow me on Instagram, etc. So I sort of activated my Instagram account and started sharing my mates like we all do. But I have to say, I didn't really feel like I fitted in. The sewing community that I got to know is very affluent, white and middle class, and although I'm obviously white, I didn't quite feel like I fitted in to that world. I felt like the people who we see on Instagram are quite privileged, and I mean that in a global sense. I am absolutely not criticising anybody for the opportunities they've had in the world. We're all born into a situation and nobody can help that, and I've had loads of privileges and I'm extremely wealthy in the global sense, but the people who sew in this world are mainly poor and from black and Asian backgrounds, and we don't see that in our sewing community. Our sewing community is very different to that, and that concerns me a bit. I feel like to be inclusive, we need to look outside ourselves. When I joined the sewing community, I felt like I didn't fit in. I felt left out. I felt like everybody already knew each other and that there was no way I was going to be able to get to know each other. And I know that I'm not alone in that, because when I've spoken to people, they have said that they have experienced the same feelings. And I don't want to make anybody else feel like that. So when I say that I've been out today with a lot of people, some of whom are vloggers, some of whom are bloggers, some of whom are quite well known on Instagram, I don't want to make anybody feel that this is a closed community that you have to vlog or blog or have loads and loads of followers to be part of. It isn't. It absolutely isn't. Some of my favourite people on Instagram have 200 followers, have 50 followers. They are people with something interesting to say, and they are people who are funny and quirky and make lovely things. There's a lot of difference there, and I really value that. So don't feel that just because somebody's got a big amount of followers next to their name that they won't want to speak to you, or that they won't value what you've got to say. I know that, say for example, pattern testing can cause quite a lot of animosity, because people feel like they are offering their labour for free to help a pattern tester, a pattern designer get off the ground, and then they feel like perhaps their kind offer has been rejected because they are not popular enough. Yeah, there are some pattern designers that are only going to choose people with a lot of followers, and they're making a business decision because they know that they will get better exposure for their patterns by doing that. And I think that brings me to another difficult thing that we all have to deal with, which is that there are a lot of people in the sewing community, or there are a significant amount of people in the sewing community who also work in the sewing community, and that means that they may make friends, but they also have business interests, so they also might prioritise those people who have got a lot of followers, and that can really, really upset other people, and I understand that. I really do get that. So I haven't got any answers, and I don't want to come across as being critical of anyone. I am absolutely not being critical of anyone. I don't think that this situation is anybody's fault. I don't think that anybody's intending to exclude anyone or give off that kind of vibe. I know that the London Stitchers meetup that I sometimes go to, although I probably don't because it's a little bit big for me and I just get a bit overwhelmed, they try really hard to be inclusive. But when I first came, it felt to me like everybody in that group already knew each other and that there wasn't anybody new coming into that group. Now that might have just been my perception, and some of that is just kind of my own feeling of being left out. It all feels a little bit like school when you're the last person to be picked for the gym team. So what I'm saying is a lot of these feelings come from ourselves, and a lot of these feelings just arise because of the way that social media is. It presents a really unrealistic picture of life, and it can make people feel quite aggrieved. There are people on social media who are lovely, but I just can't follow. I don't follow them because frankly if their accounts evoke negative feelings in me, and I have to protect myself. And those feelings are pretty ugly feelings in me. They're probably, you know, envy, jealousy. I'm, you know, I feel like I'm not as popular as them. I'm not as thin as them. And that really does your mental health in. And so I mute them or I unfollow them. And if that person knew that, they might be quite hurt. But it is absolutely a case of, it's not you, it's me. It is completely me. On social media, you have to do what you can to protect your own mental health, because otherwise it stops being a healthy place for you, and it stops being a place that you enjoy. The only reason for being on social media is for enjoyment. If you're not enjoying it, get out, get the hell out, spend time with your friends, spend time with your family, do something away from the digital world, read a book or whatever. Anyway, I'm getting off on the soapbox now, so I might edit out a fair portion of what I've said. Please, if you're going to comment about what I've said, please be respectful and kind. I don't mind if you disagree with me, that's absolutely fine, so long as you're respectful and kind in the way that you put it. I hope that what I've said is useful to people. And now I've finished with that heavy subject, I am going to stop filming and film a lovely fabric haul. If you haven't subscribed to this vlog and you want to hear some silliness, some soapbox opinions and a lot of sewing, then click on the subscribe button, and do you know, it makes Betsy purr every time you do that. Isn't that amazing? See you later. Bye. It's like a valance for your bingo wing.